Hi, my name is Ellis May. I just got back from Burning Man early this morning. Hair still in braids, a little bit of dust still on my body despite 2 showers. And I wanted to come on here with a fresh mind just to kind of break down my experiences, my tips, my tricks, and my recommendations for Burning Man. Oh my gosh, I'm still trying to decompress. I'm still trying to process this whole experience. It was one of the most magical, exhilarating, exciting, wild, hard, incredible, awful, beautiful experiences of my whole entire life. This experience is meant to push you to your limits, to push you to your extremes. You will be feeling every single emotion to the most extreme extent of that emotion. The whole kind of point of this is to push you to really show you how strong you are. And it's supposed to help you really just come into terms with yourself and your goals and just kind of what you are looking for, who you are. It really teaches you a lot about yourself because it forces you to be like the most self-sufficient ever. Okay, so I landed in Black Rock City. Black Rock City is where Burning Man is held. It actually turns into an entire city. Fun fact, there's usually 70,000 people that turn this blank desert with nothing, no power, no electricity, nothing. They come together over the course of about a month and they turn it into one of the largest cities in Nevada just for 9 days. So when I say city, I mean it's a full-on city. Like there's no money. Everything is in terms of trades. So you bike around all day and everything you can imagine. There's clothing stores. This is amazing. I'm literally in heaven. There's bars, there's food stands, there's tacos for breakfast with a side of base. There's tarot card readings, there's massages, there's yoga, there's spas. Everything that you can imagine is here and it's all free. By saying free, you do have to contribute in some sort of way. So it is based on trades. So you either are going to be putting work into setting up your camp, you're going to be bringing things for people for their experiences, you're going to be doing something to help back for the community. For me, what I did is I brought tons and tons of things just to like bedazzle my girlies out. I brought over 100 evil eye bracelets I was handing out to everybody all over the playa. I brought a bunch of hair jewels, makeup. I was braiding girls' hairs. Okay, finished results. So freaking cute. Oh my God, I'm obsessed. Wow, all the little jewels. Should I do this professionally, yes or no?
I think yes.
I think yes too. I was helping them with sparkles. I was basically just like getting all of the girls fitted, you know? So everybody kind of helps out in their own little way. So let's backtrack. I landed in Black Rock Desert. There's actually a Burning Man airport. It's called the Burner Express and it flies you right from Reno. Or you have the option to go from Burbank as well as San Francisco and a couple other options, but it flies you directly into Burning Man. I did this because I simply just did not want to wait for the drive in. I have friends who got stuck for 2 days driving into Burning Man because when we first landed, there was a major dust storm. I literally landed and 4 minutes after landing, it was one of the biggest dust storms they saw all week. Boy, the playa ever knows how to humble you. Like 1 second, we're taking cute pictures by the plane and within 4 minutes, I checked the timestamp, within 4 minutes, staff is all screaming at us, run, the dust is coming, it's going to consume you. And we're sprinting with all of our luggage. The dust storm is literally hitting us as we're sprinting. Oh no, everyone's screaming at us to run. So I highly suggest bringing masks, N95 masks. Bring like a heavy duty gas mask. I literally had like this massive mask that I bedazzled and everything because your girl's allergic to dust. Something about Burning Man dust though, it is alkaline and it's from the lake that used to exist there way, way, way back. So this dust doesn't really react the same way as like, for example, Coachella dust. Within a weekend of Coachella, my throat was literally closing without allergy meds and a mask. This, I hardly wore a mask the whole time and towards the end didn't pop any allergy meds. Only did a couple times and honestly, I was pretty fine in terms of that. But be prepared for the dust storms. Bring clear goggles, bring sunglasses because when these dust storms hit, it's fast and it's nasty. We got stranded at the shuttle stop for like 4 hours after landing because no shuttles could pick us up because it gets so treacherous that it's dangerous to even drive in. And the playa turns into deep, thick mud very, very, very quickly. So don't bring anything that's super valuable. Don't bring anything that you don't want coated in mud. My suitcase is destroyed. My backpack is destroyed. Everything I kind of brought is permanently covered with dust or destroyed. So just like be prepared for that. The thing about Burning Man is it literally is just a desert with nothing on it and everything that is there is brought during the course of the month of setup and is completely stripped away, and it is left just a clean desert with nothing afterwards. So make sure you bring in all of your water. I highly suggest bringing in wet wipes because you are permanently dusty. And my biggest tip, honestly, is you have to accept that you're one with the dust the second you get there, because no matter how bougie you do it, how nice your RV is, the air is filled with dust. The second you get out of a shower, you're covered in dust. If you even get to shower, we were staying in honestly a really nice RV. We got really, really fortunate. Most people are camping this. And even in our RV, there's permanently dust flying around the air. Like the second you get out of the water, you're covered. So just accept the fact that the dust is your friend, or else you will have a panic attack and be freaking out the whole time. It's really not for the weak. The desert is like 110, sometimes 120 degrees during the day, and it drops to close to freezing at night. So you need to be prepared for both extremes. So come with a lot of really light outfits. I wore bikinis basically all during the day, and then at nighttime I had thick furry jackets that I would put on. I suggest bringing a hydro pack filled with water because you don't know how long you're going to be gone for. You need to make sure you have snacks, protein bars, as well as bring in real food as well, because you can't count on these other tents and camps and stuff. Even though they do offer food, like grilled cheese station at 4 p.m., you could bike to the grilled cheese station. They could have been sold out for 3 days. You know what I mean? So just come prepared to be completely self-sufficient. Bring your electrolytes, fill up your hydro pack with your electrolytes, because again, it is so hot. You need to stay super, super well hydrated during this experience. I highly suggest bringing air tags, as well as putting them on you, your friends, and your bikes. It is super important to have an e-bike during this experience, because to go from one end of the playa to the other, it takes, even on an e-bike, 20 minutes to an hour. Imagine walking that. You just simply can't. Some of the best experiences are the sunrise sets. A lot of that happened in deep playa, which literally means you're going so far away from where people are camping into the middle of the actual desert. You need to have an e-bike. Make sure it's fully charged and deck out your bike. Wrap it with lights. Make it unique. Keep those lights on when you park too, because there are thousands of bikes sometimes around, and you can spend hours searching for your bikes. Make sure you have a bike lock. Even though Burning Man is a place of love and joy and sharing and community, there are a lot of people that aren't just the best. One of the people I was camping with literally parked his bike to run back into the RV for a minute and a half, and someone stole his bike in a minute and a half. So just really make sure that you have your own back there. I suggest bringing a journal and just kind of work through these experiences while you're going through them, because it truly tests you to your limits. Just know that a crash out is okay. Everyone crashes out at least once, especially if you're there for the whole 9-day experience. And the motto of one of the ladies at the airport when I was bawling my eyes out trying to come home, I'll tell that story in a second. She gave me a big hug and she's like, listen, you need a crash out to come up. I've had like 3 crash outs already. It just kind of happens. The desert pushes you, and you just kind of use that to just come through to the other side and realize like your purpose, who you are, what you need, what you've learned. So after this video, I'm going to take probably about like 2 hours to journal everything, because my brain is still like, In terms of the days that you spend going there, it was my first time. I was there all 9 days. I got there a day before, a day after. The first half of the week are more of the bigger artists. Like John Summit did a surprise set. A lot of really big DJs did surprise sets, and they're there for the first half of the week. Whereas the last weekend, it's more of the resident DJs that play. Mind you, there are some really lit DJs. Like I saw Rufus De Soul, I saw Carl Cox. A lot of cool people do perform, but the bigger artists are the first half. The second half is more for the emotional, spiritual aspect of Burning Man. On the Saturday, there is the Burn of the Man. The reason Burning Man is called so is because it's literally, there's giant wooden statue of this man is the center of the playa, and on the Saturday it gets burnt down in a big celebration, and there's thousands of art cars and people surrounding it and parties. It's so incredible. Whereas the Sunday is the burn of the temple, and the temple is located next to the man, and it's a place for people to go to kind of say goodbye to the ones that they've loved that have passed. So it's super, super emotional, and this was one of the most emotional experiences of my whole entire life, the burn of the temple. It was so beautiful and magical. Thousands of people there, but it was silent and everyone's crying. I bawled my eyes out the entire time. And it is so crazy because as the temple is burning down, these fire tornadoes turn into dust tornadoes and leave the temple and start to rise towards the heaven. They're literally souls leaving the temple, souls of the loved ones that people have said goodbye to, leaving this temple, and the energy is so strong. It's unlike anything I've ever felt in my whole entire life. Like will be so overwhelmed with emotion. The reason why so many people wear their hair in braids is because of the weather conditions. It is so dusty. The dust storms, the wind can get really crazy. you're kind of out all day, all night, biking around. If you don't have your hair kind of put back, it's going to be completely matted. Also, it's very difficult to access showers. Even though I had a nice RV with running water, I didn't have running water or electricity or air conditioning for like 70% of the experience. So just prepare for the fact that you're not going to be clean the whole time, and you have to accept that. But I do highly suggest wearing your hair in braids if you do have longer hair, because it's going to save you so much time and so much stress and grief, because you're already on the verge of a crash out, and trying to deal with like unmatting your hair on top of it is just like I could not emotionally deal with that. There were so many really cool magical experiences that happened. I don't even have time to tell them all in this video, but one of the many examples is me and my girlfriend were laying down to go to bed, literally with our outfits and makeup still on, face mask, earplugs in, but we just wanted to be prepared just in case. And I start hearing John Summit music playing, right? And I look at her and I'm like, okay, like this DJ's pretty good. Like, do we go out? And we're like, no, we don't want to. And then another song plays, and I start to recognize this set. And I look to her and I wake her up and I go, girl, I literally saw John Summit 3 weeks ago and this is his set. I swear to God, I will bet my life savings if we run outside right now, John Summit is playing at our camp. So we get up, we run outside and walk front row John Summit. Like there's so many crazy artists that come. There's so many cool people that are there. You're going to meet so many cool people. The amount of people I met that were getting married, that were celebrating their 1 year anniversary with their spouse that they met at Burning Man. It's a magical place that brings people together, and you're going to have like the most epic experiences and so many crazy stories to tell by the end of it. Bring vitamins, bring 5-HTP. That's a really good vitamin that helps boost your serotonin. Important to take every day. Bring vitamin C, bring probiotics, bring all the things to nourish your body, multivitamins, because it can be difficult to eat proper meals when you're there because of the lack of power, electricity, and just honestly frolicking around and having so much fun. Bring earplugs. It gets really loud. I had so many sets of earplugs. I shoved it in my outfits. I shoved it in my back. I shoved it in my fanny pack because ear damage is irreversible. So trust me on that one. If you're braiding your hair, I highly suggest to bring coconut oil, aloe vera, moisturizing hair oils, because it gets so itchy. Like, to be so for real right now, I am actually like getting rashes underneath my braids because of how long they've been in and the caking of the dust. You can wash in between your braids, but again, it can be really difficult to do that at Burning Man because of lack of showers and lack of water. But just bring moisturizer and really, really stay hydrated. Bring SPF. Wear sunscreen on your face and body every day. It gets so scorching hot and sunny during the day. You don't want to burn. You don't want to get heat stroke. Really be careful and prioritize sleep. Bring melatonin to help knock you out at night, because if you don't sleep, you will not survive this. In terms of the food that you bring non-perishable food items, because even if you do happen to have an RV, you're not going to have electricity the whole time. My electricity was literally off 60% of the time. So bring stuff that is not going to go bad, and bring stuff that you can carry around with you as well, like protein bars, little snacks like that. Make sure you're prepared for the way out. The drive out just of the playa alone on the last day can take between like 6 to 8 hours. And that's just leaving the desert, not even like driving on the way to your home. So I didn't have a ticket. I didn't have a bus ticket out. I didn't really have any plans because I'm a very spontaneous person, which is not the best idea for Burning Man because you need to be prepared for the situation. So I ended up walking an hour and a half in the heat to the airport. And this was actually one of the most disappointing experiences because I stopped by probably like 10 people with trucks and begged them to take me. And mind you, like, this is my last day. I'm bawling my eyes out. Like, this was one of the hardest days that I've experienced, like, ever. Everyone had a ticket out but me. There was miscommunication. Anyways, I'm walking in the heat, 100-degree heat, dragging my like 3 luggages, bawling my eyes out. Nobody would take me. Everyone was turning me down, taking me, which is pretty crazy. I ended up running into a shuttle that grabbed me, backtracked me all the way back to where I walked, looped me around, connected me with a second shuttle to like connect me to the airport. Finally got to the airport and I was able to wait for 2.5 hours on standby to get on a flight that somebody didn't show up for. So you can be standby. I suggest if you don't have a flight out, just go as early as you can and wait. I ended up getting a flight from Black Rock City to Reno, which is the local airport, like 30-minute flight away. And that cost me almost $1,000. There are direct flights to San Francisco, Burbank, a few other places, which are going to cost you like $2,000 upwards. Once I got to the JSX in Reno, I was on standby again for a flight to Burbank because again, I had no way out and I just emotionally could not have handled driving the 18-hour drive home with all the traffic. I couldn't. I was like, take my money. I need my own bed. So I ended up getting the very last seat on the last standby flight to truly, like, the universe had my back in this way. Like, be a good person because good things will happen to you. And after like 45 emotional breakdowns, bawling my eyes out publicly, I got on 2 standby flights. 2 grand later, I was in my own bed. So just really be prepared. It's every man for themselves out there. Even though it is a community, at the end of the day, you're the only person responsible for you. So go over prepared. Really take some time to take a look at a list of everything that you need to bring. Yeah, the cool outfits is a good part of the experience, but like, you're not going to survive off of good outfits. Like, you need to be fully prepared. You need to have all of your stuff with you. Go with a good group of people. There's no cell phone service hardly out there. The Starlink is very spotty. So be prepared to be disconnected, which is the whole point of Burning Man, to get you off the grid, to kind of help you discover yourself and enjoy it. I highly suggest going. It is one of the most unique, incredible experiences, but really be prepared. It will push you and you will cry probably a few times. All in all, it was an incredible experience. I need to go kind of decompress a little bit and process everything that I've seen and I've done, because I feel like speechless still in terms of like the things that I've taken out of it, because I took so much out of it. But all in all, check out Burning Man. It's a crazy experience. Make sure you're giving back. Don't leave any garbage on the playa. They call it moop. Don't leave any moop on the playa, and just be good to everyone that you meet. Bring more than enough so you can actually share it with other people, because if you do good to others, good will come on to you. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my experience. Make sure that you follow and subscribe, because I have an incredible, super fun, exciting vlog I made of the whole experience that I'm working on getting edited right now. So follow along and subscribe for that, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.